Welcome to Jigsaw Geek. I just want to say right off the bat that I'm not a Dragon Ball Z fan. I got this shirt for Christmas. It's actually really comfortable. I mean, hey, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, that's fine. That came out way after I was grown. Nothing against it. Now, you might notice that I've got puzzles everywhere. And it's like a second living room. It used to be a bedroom, but I turned it into my puzzle room. I've got some bookshelves, I've got my computer, a stereo, and a couch. And this is where I'm doing my puzzling. But the big news is that I'm converting the closet that's in this room into wall-to-wall shelves, and that's going to be my puzzle room. I think work on it is going to start tomorrow, and I'm very, very excited. Of course, I'll show that off when it's done. What is the reason I'm here? I finished those Van Gogh puzzles. It was my second summer challenge. The first one, I started off a really, really easy challenge just to get me into the mood. And then I went into something that I knew would be difficult, did not know it would be as difficult as it was. From the beginning, I've actually been preparing a video and I have a slideshow. And I have it 2 or 3 different ways. As I played those slideshows, I will do an awkward voice over. So what was the nature of this challenge? I realized that in my puzzle closet, I had 2 versions of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. And I realized that they were both by the same company, Eurographics. And this is obviously the older of the 2 puzzles. It's certainly the more beat up box. Let's see if this has a year on it. Can't seem to find a year on this. And then this is the more modern version. Now I'm going to have to say that I was making a guess and I just thought that this would be the easier puzzle. Boy, was I wrong. This puzzle has more of a random cut shape. It was so much easier. This one had a 1-piece shape besides the edges. So that was 2 ins, 2 outs. And that really slowed me down. Now, both of these puzzles are gorgeous, but it's really interesting that the same art piece looks so totally different in color. This is the older version, or what I called Puzzle A. Let's go ahead and look at this. I mean, this puzzle is stunningly beautiful. And now let's go ahead and look at the more modern version. This one is definitely a lot darker. And I think graphic-wise, I prefer this one because the yellows really stand out. However, in the other puzzle, a piece just fell out. In the other puzzle, this black area is much lighter and you could see a lot more detail. Hold on, where did that puzzle piece come from? So there we go. Yeah, 2 pieces flew off, so I had to pat it down again. Welcome to Awkward Voiceover 1. And this is where I'm going to compare the puzzles done side by side, hour by hour. Now, initially you could see that I start to diverge. In Puzzle A, I did the black foliage, but Puzzle B, I was really struggling with that, and I had to go into a different area. Now, Puzzle A, you could see that I'm doing more of the bottom and the sky. And Puzzle B, it really took me a long time to get that. And you can see right around this hour is where I really pull ahead in Puzzle A. And Puzzle B, I'm still struggling. About a 4-hour difference. And now you're going to see the puzzles, the same thing. I just sped it up so that you can see the progress a lot more clearly. The final verdict was that Puzzle A took me about 17 hours and Puzzle B took me 21 hours. And that is not including the time that I took to separate the edge pieces and do the edge. Oh wait, I'm not sure if I included the edge in that. So you can add another hour to the times if you want to. I'm not that much of a stickler when it comes to time. I'm just kind of gauging overall. And I would bet that this Puzzle B took me more than 21 hours because near the end, I wasn't accurately doing the hours. I was just the other one had been finished and I was just kind of gauging hours and then taking pictures. So it could have been more. Could have been almost a day of my life to do this puzzle. And my husband was saying, well, just think what you could have done with that day, right? I think it was a day well spent. Now, I've been working on these puzzles so long, I don't even remember what I've been reading, but I'm going to flash a couple of pictures. One book that I was reading was about a man who got estranged from his father, who loved the life on the sea, and he goes out to the sea and makes a big mistake, and he gets swallowed by a whale. It sounds weird, but it was actually really good. And then I finished the second book in the Terry Pratchett Discworld series. I'm not a big fan of comedy or satire writing, but I think I'm starting to warm up to the series. I quite enjoyed the second book. And so if you are a fan of things like Restaurant at the End of the Universe, those kind of books, I think you'd really enjoy this Discworld series. I guess there's like 35 or 40 books, so I just finished number 2. So here is awkward voiceover number 2, focusing on puzzle A that took me about 17 to 18 hours. And you can see I have the border done. Then I start going for all the light colors. I build that first wave across. And then I start to work on that foliage in the tower and the bottom part. But I think I got stuck at the bottom. I couldn't quite get it all. Oh no, I'm doing well. And remember, this is a random cut. More random cut puzzle, so it was much easier. And of course, I saved the sky for the end. That is really a difficult part of this puzzle, especially in puzzle B. So you could see that I'm finished, and we're going to see the same puzzle just sped up a little bit, so that you could get a better, like a mini time lapse. Here's awkward voiceover 3. I could have probably just continued the last one. On puzzle B, and this is the puzzle that initially I did well with the light spots. But then when I got to that tower, you could just see what a mess. I started working on the tower just like I did in puzzle A, but that was not working for me at all, and I had to switch tactics. I finally got it done, but you can see I'm going to really struggle with the bottom. It takes me a lot longer to get it done. And then when we get to the sky, it just becomes even worse. It took so many hours to fill in that sky. I felt like I was never going to get that sky done, but finally it came into place. And one strategy that I used was I had to sort the pieces by wave flow. It was very strange, but in the end it helped me get the puzzle finished. I'm going to go ahead and talk about 2 challenges. I'm going to give myself a really easy challenge. I have 2 puzzles that are accounted for. This one, someone at the Puzzle Exchange wants, and then this one, a YouTube friend wants. And I thought I would use this as a kind of test. I'm also going to do 1 hour each for these puzzles, and I'm going to see how long it takes. I'm expecting this one to be a little bit more difficult because of all the green and the interesting perspective. I think this is going to be much easier because of the levels. I'm expecting this one to take me, I'm hoping, about 7 hours, and this one about 10. Let's not do another 17, 20, 21 hours. And that's going to bring me to my real summer challenge that I've been planning. That one was just a kind of like a palette cleanser. Next week is the Puzzle Exchange, and I would like to have not only those 2 puzzles done, but these 4. Now, my next challenge is I have 4 Lego puzzles, and I'm going to do the same thing, an hour each. And I'm going to do Ice Cream Dream, Rainbow Bricks, minifigure, and minifigure faces. This looks like it's going to be a pain. So I'm going to do these 4, and I'm absolutely going to be looking at the boxes, especially for these puzzles. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to assume that this is going to be the easiest. They're all 1,000 piece puzzles. This one has a different size box. 1,000 piece puzzles. I'm expecting, I'm not sure. If the rows line up, this could be really easy. When I did a Spider-Man puzzle like this, there was a row and you didn't often get the person on the middle piece. And so that made it much more difficult, but they look like they're crammed together more. And so it might help you line the pieces up. And then this one, of course, just gradient, but a lot of the colors repeat. And finally, this is just going to be, I don't know, some kind of nasty. You're going to have to be looking at all those faces, and I don't know. This one might take a while. Well, my goal is to have them done by next Saturday so I could take those 4 to the Puzzle Exchange, and then take this to somebody at the Puzzle Exchange, and then I'll be able to send this to a friend in the mail. All while that's happening, I might not be able to use my puzzle room. I might have to puzzle in like our real living room or on my dining room table. We'll see how it goes. I don't know over time how long. I don't know when I announced this puzzle challenge to when I finished. It seems like weeks. And don't get me wrong, those are hats, not underwear. Because I'm cleaning out the closet and I have a lot of hats like on the door. I was looking, I was like, are there underwear over there? And now I totally derailed my train of thought. But that was certainly a difficult challenge, probably one of the hardest puzzles I've ever done. I mean, I think the one that I did before with the train in the snow, with the trees, that one I think certainly took a lot longer. But doing both of these Van Gogh puzzles at the same time, they were very, very tricky. But I'm so glad that I had myself do that. And they're both beautiful puzzles that are going to go into my puzzle portfolio. As always, I want to thank you all for the support, and any comments that you leave are always greatly appreciated.